as the party starts, and this is where you're going to do your introduction, which is what we worked on earlier. This is your story part 1. You're going to keep it short and base it on the chat that you've had with people when they were arriving and before the party started. Now, because you'll tailor this for the people who are there, you know that people are going to be able to connect with what you're saying, and it's going to further break the ice in the group as well. Now, don't forget, as I mentioned before, people actually do wonder about you. They wonder if you're anything like them at all. It's a very important part of the party, so please don't miss it out. Now, if you see a certain group of people often, and you know them all really well, why not just make this into a game? Everything can be made into a game. So just say, look, I know you know all about me, but I'm going to, I've decided that I'm going to make this a challenge, that every time I see you people, I'm going to tell you one new extra thing about me that you don't know. And then try and come up with something new each time and get into more obscure areas, but keeping it seemly, of course, but start telling them really the more quirky things about you. And it would be really fun, and you'll get to know them really well. It actually helps with the relationship building and just makes everything a lot more fun and friendly. Okay, so there's the introduction. Now, throughout the party, this is important, this sort of goes on from beginning to end. You need to sow seeds of interest all the way through, so that when you get to the end, people are falling over themselves to know more. They want to know more. They want a business pack because you've been sowing these little seeds that have started to germinate as the party goes. Remember to, every now and again, refer to the party folder, which is what we talked about last session. And if you have put something on your display, which I'm pretty sure we talked about in one of the sessions as well, something about your next trip away with the company, or some special thing that's coming up in the company, if you can find an ornament for it, use that as well. So people would ask, you know, what's the elephant for? And then you can say, well, in August my company's taking their top people to Thailand, and this is to remind me of my goal to be one of them. So it doesn't matter what it is or what the incentive is, as long as there's something there that's eye-catching and looks quite out of place. So let's find out from everybody else some of the seeds that you like to sow throughout the parties. Are there any little hooks that you drop in there as you go throughout the party? So,
okay, Gail's obviously with a company that sells educational books and toys. So one of her little seeds is talking about how her children have access to all her products. Tanya likes to mention that her makeup is a tax deduction. Kim likes to mention that she's always got gifts on hand. She never actually has to go out shopping because she's always got something
to wrap up
she can give people.
Excellent. These are all really good examples of just things that you can drop in there. It doesn't even look like you're recruiting, but you are. So as we go throughout the party, as more and more of these little things, they all start to add up. And some people who are not interested, this stuff's just going to go straight past them. They're not even going to hear it. But the people who are starting to get a bit interested, these messages are all going to build up in their head so that by the time you get to the end, they're going to want to take a business pack home. So that's great. Okay, the commercial break. Now, we did this earlier, obviously, so this is just a quick recap to tell you that this is where it needs to go. It's very important that this is not a carefully rehearsed speech, and I know I gave you a sort of a script. I would never expect you to use a script. It's only to give you an idea of some things that you can say. When you use a script and you come across as being canned, you actually come across as being quite insincere. Now, I don't mind if you have in your notes while you're doing your party, because I always use prompt cards anyway, I don't mind if you have a couple of little bullet points just to remind you to say what you want to say, but don't use a script. And also just make sure again that you can adapt it for your audience. You're not going to use all of it every time. Also, you could mention at this point that there's more information in the party folder if anyone wants to have a look at it. So that's all. We don't need to talk about the commercial break anymore because we have done that.